earned income tax credit is one of the very important things that we're going after. There's $1 billion of money that the federal government is holding that ought to be in the people's pockets. And what we want to do is we want to find those people that are eligible, that are really that could qualify for that money, so we give it to the people. As I said, it's important for the people to take that money, to save that money, to make that money grow. So this is why we call this government is coming to the people to help them, so we can connect and we can help them with all the different needs that they have. There's a lot of hardworking people here in California and that are struggling. They don't have the money that they need, and so we want to help them with all this. This is what this program is all about, and that's what the state's responsibility is.
Nobody who's able to work 52 weeks a year full-time should live in poverty. That really has been something that our country always believed in. There was sort of a social contract. If you work hard and play by the rules, do everything you can, get up in the morning and go to work, support your family, you shouldn't live in poverty. And so what we have to do, I think, is come up with a strategy in Illinois to combat and eliminate poverty, and it's going to have a lot of different parts to it. I think it is important that we see this as a sort of a bipartisan effort, an effort of all the people of our state. Nearly 13 million people live in Illinois, and we can't be perceiving ourselves as 13 million people all going in separate directions. We have to be a community of shared values. At the outset, I mentioned people working full-time and still living in poverty, which that's not a good thing. We've got to do something about that, and one of the best ways to do something about it in Illinois is to deal with tax reform for working people, and began in the 1970s with President Ford, continued in the 1980s. President Reagan expanded this program, and so did President Clinton. It's got bipartisan support for many, many years. It's called the Earned Income Tax Credit. At the federal level, it's been around about 30 years. At the state level in Illinois, we were able to pass a state Earned Income Tax Credit. It's a percentage of what the federal credit is all about. I'd like to see that percentage, which right now is 5% of the federal credit, the Illinois Earned Income Tax Credit. I'd like to see that increased, and that ought to be, I think, one of our items on our agenda to try and increase that percentage from 5% to 10%. And I know the budgets are very tight and difficult at this time. I deal with that almost every single day. But there's something really wrong in Illinois where we give more tax breaks to those who raise thoroughbred horses than we give to parents raising children. And that really is what the Earned Income Tax Credit is all about. It rewards work. It's available to working families raising children, the most important mission that any society has. We in Illinois, as part of our agenda to fight poverty and combat it and eliminate it, need to make sure that the tax code, which is one of the most basic ways a society sort of organizes itself, that we have a tax code in Illinois that is not biased against everyday people raising kids, families in Illinois. So the Earned Income Tax Credit at the federal level and at the state level is a pro-family, pro-work, anti-poverty measure that has been extremely successful with bipartisan support at alleviating poverty. There are a lot of influential people who have accountants and lawyers, and they are pretty good at getting all the tax breaks they're entitled to. But folks who don't have lobbyists, who don't have folks in three-piece suits that they can hire, they need help. Nowadays they file electronically. People don't have to pay a fee to H&R Block or anyone else to fill out their tax forms. They also get their money back rather quickly, so they don't have to deal with a refund anticipation loan, which has very high interest rates. A lot of the tax preparers like to hook people into that and snare some of that refund that people, citizens and taxpayers, are entitled to. Last year, the statistics are that 120,000 Illinois families, a lot of the families that we're talking about today, did not receive the earned income tax credit because they were unaware of the credit, or they didn't make enough money to file a tax return, even though they're eligible still for the tax credit. They just didn't file a return, or they were not aware of this program at the federal level or at the state level. So I think part of our mission today in the coming year is to get more of those households, more of those working families, people who are working hard, living in poverty, to file for the tax relief they're entitled to from Washington and from Springfield. And this really has to be a movement.